Everyone was told, from Rupert Murdoch, from Fox, to every studio, look, if you touch this thing, you will be out, you will be done. You'll be finished in 3 years.
The United States is the #1 consumer year after year. And oftentimes we're close to #1 in production.
I looked directly at the emails that have been widely circulated pertaining to the age 11, and I have it written down on my notes, the permission to kill email, the Snow White, the littlest girl was naughty, etc. And some of them pertaining to, jerky, whatever that is. Yeah.
And so, and so, just quick follow. What is jerky? Like, what is that exactly?
I think that's the question. I don't know if it's like, and again, like going into specifically just based on what this is, I don't know.
Code word.
Context
It
is
has to be a code word. Nobody
It's a
talks
code
about
word
jerky
and
like
it's
this.
weird.
What you just heard sounds intense, but it is important to slow it down and separate what is confirmed from how it is being interpreted. There have been public statements from officials, investigators, and lawmakers about serious issues like exploitation and online abuse. Those concerns are real and documented. But when different quotes and moments are stitched together, they can start to create a narrative that feels bigger than what has actually been verified. Discussions around Jeffrey Epstein and his network have raised legitimate questions, especially after court documents and investigations became public. Some records have referenced various individuals, but appearing in documents does not automatically imply wrongdoing. Context matters, and many names have been included without any charges or confirmed involvement. At the same time, past media appearances involving controversial figures, including cases like John of God being featured by Oprah Winfrey, have been widely discussed. However, those appearances happened before criminal convictions were known publicly, which is an important distinction often left out of viral narratives. The story then shifts back to Jim Caviezel, whose career took a unique path after starring in The Passion of the Christ, directed by Mel Gibson. His commitment to that role is well known, including difficult filming conditions and on-set challenges that became part of Hollywood lore. But over time, the focus around him moved away from acting and toward the claims and perspectives he began sharing publicly.
Went through hypothermia. I had to have open heart surgery. I was electrocuted, struck by lightning. I understand the necessity of what I was going to have to go through could help bring people back.
After the success of The Passion of the Christ, Jim Caviezel was in a position where he could have taken on almost any project. Instead, he chose to be part of Sound of Freedom, a film based on the story of Tim Ballard. Ballard worked in roles connected to investigations involving crimes against children and later founded an organization focused on anti-trafficking efforts. His work has been widely discussed, but also debated, with some aspects supported by reports and others questioned by journalists and experts. The film itself faced a complicated path to release. It was completed but delayed before eventually reaching audiences. That delay has been interpreted in different ways. Some see it as evidence of resistance from within the industry. Others point to standard business, distribution, and studio-related factors that often affect film releases. What is clear is that the project became a focal point for larger conversations, not just about the film, but about the issues it highlights and the claims surrounding it. And just like everything connected to this topic, the reactions have been divided. Some people see it as raising awareness. Others believe the surrounding narrative mixes real concerns with unverified conclusions. In the end, the story is not just about one film or one actor. It is about how quickly serious issues can become tangled with speculation, and how important it is to separate confirmed facts from interpretations that go beyond the evidence.
And they've done everything they could to stop it, as they did this with The Passion of the Christ.
When you look at it structurally, the situation raises questions, but it also requires careful interpretation. Sound of Freedom is a film centered on child trafficking, inspired by the work of Tim Ballard. That alone makes it a sensitive and complex subject. Jim Caviezel has spoken in interviews about resistance he believes the film faced, suggesting that powerful figures within the entertainment industry were not supportive of the project. However, claims about specific individuals or organized efforts to suppress the film remain unverified and are often debated. Names like Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry are sometimes mentioned in broader discussions online, but there is no confirmed evidence linking them to any coordinated effort to block the film. This is where speculation can quickly blend with fact, making it important to stay grounded in what has been clearly documented. What is confirmed is that the film was eventually distributed by Angel Studios without backing from a major studio. And despite that, audiences showed up in large numbers, turning it into a notable independent success. That response reflects public interest in the topic, regardless of the debates surrounding it.
We're selling out right now. I mean, our biggest war right now is to get more theaters. The big studios control.
The box office performance of Sound of Freedom was undeniably strong for an independent release. Without the typical marketing push from major studios, no major late-night promotions, and limited traditional exposure, it still managed to reach a wide audience. But for Jim Caviezel, one of the most impactful moments reportedly came during early screenings. Sitting in the room, watching audience reactions in real time, he noticed something that stood out. At certain points in the film, viewers began connecting the story on screen to real-world cases they had heard about. That kind of reaction shows how strongly the topic resonates with people. When a film deals with real issues, audiences often bring their own knowledge and assumptions into the experience. And in this case, many were reminded of the widely reported case of Jeffrey Epstein and his private island, Little St. James. However, it is important to remember that making a connection in a theater does not confirm a direct link. It reflects perception, not proof.
Was talking going on, and I was like watching the audience going by. The second time it happened, again, third time, talking in this one particular spot, and I'm thinking, what did we do something wrong or something? But so then one more time it happened. At the end, I was asking about the movie, and I asked them about that one particular part where everybody's talking, and they all cried out Epstein Island, and I went, oh, okay. Now I understand what we're up against.
The audience reactions highlight something real, the emotional weight of the subject. Child exploitation and trafficking are serious global issues that have been documented by multiple organizations and governments. Tim Ballard did spend years working in roles connected to investigations involving exploitation, and those experiences helped shape the story presented in Sound of Freedom. His work, like many in this field, involved understanding how criminal networks operate across borders. At the same time, statistics about global trafficking must be handled carefully. Figures cited by organizations like the United Nations and the U.S. Department of Labor often refer to forced labor broadly, which includes adults and multiple forms of exploitation. They do not always represent confirmed cases of child trafficking alone, and they can be misinterpreted when taken out of context. The reality is that exploitation exists, and it is a serious issue being addressed by law enforcement and international groups. But understanding its scale and structure requires accurate interpretation of data, not just large numbers presented without explanation. When Jim Caviezel speaks about these networks, he is sharing his perspective based on the film and the discussions surrounding it. For viewers, the key is to recognize the difference between awareness, which is important, and conclusions that go beyond what has been confirmed through evidence.
There's close to 6 million children or more who are forced into sex slavery, labor slavery, or organ harvesting. And I can attest that I have been involved in cases involving all three of those forms of slavery multiple times.
What people often describe as a system is usually less dramatic than it sounds, but still complex. It is not always about secret coordination. More often, it is about networks of influence, reputation, and association. The idea that proximity to power can shape perception is real. But turning that into a single coordinated structure requires evidence that goes beyond patterns or assumptions. When it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, the release of court documents over time did reveal new details, including names, timelines, and communications. However, those documents are not simple to interpret. Many references are incomplete, redacted, or taken from testimony that has not been proven in court. Seeing a name in a document does not equal guilt. It often reflects association, mention, or context that still requires verification. What investigators And journalists focus on is not just names, but what can actually be proven through evidence. That is where real accountability comes from.
It's an 8-armed octopus, and if you take just out, that arm will grow back. You have to take the head.
Some reports and discussions have highlighted unusual communication methods allegedly used within certain networks, including shared access to accounts or unsent draft messages. While such methods can exist in different contexts, claims about their widespread use in criminal systems need to be backed by verified investigative findings, not just interpretation. The same applies to language. Certain words appearing in emails have been analyzed and debated, but interpreting them as coded messages requires clear, corroborated evidence. Without that, it remains speculation. Law enforcement agencies, including the Federal Bureau of Investigation, rely on confirmed patterns supported by data, not just isolated terms or phrases. Public discussions sometimes simplify this process, which can lead to conclusions that are not fully supported by official findings.
They don't hit send, but they have the password for multiple emails, and they'll just go in, get the message, and then never open or close it, so it's impossible basically to track. It's just like a draft.
There have been moments where lawmakers reference documents related to Jeffrey Epstein in public settings, raising questions about their contents. But even in those cases, officials typically acknowledge uncertainty about interpretation. That distinction matters. Raising a question is not the same as confirming a conclusion. Concerns about unaccompanied minors at the southern border of the United States have also been documented in government reports. Some children have been difficult to track after placement, which has raised serious concerns about oversight and follow-up systems. However, unaccounted for does not automatically mean trafficked or missing in a criminal sense. It often reflects gaps in communication or monitoring rather than confirmed harm. That does not make the issue less important, but it does change how it should be understood.
I looked directly at the emails that have been widely circulated pertaining to the age 11, and I have it written down on my notes, the permission to kill email, the Snow White, the littlest girl was naughty, etc., and some of them pertaining to, jerky, whatever that is. Yeah.
And so, and so, just quick follow. What is jerky? Like, what is that exactly?
I think that's the question. I don't know if it's like, and again, like going into specifically just based on what this is, I don't know.
It's a code word.
Context
It
is
has to be a code word. Nobody talks about jerky like this.
Weird. Yeah, it's a code word. And
one of the most important points raised by people working in this field, including Tim Ballard, is that the real issue is not just hidden wrongdoing. It is how difficult it can be to investigate, prove, and prosecute these cases within legal systems that require solid evidence. Fighting exploitation is not about chasing theories. It is about building cases that can stand in court, protecting victims, and ensuring accountability through lawful processes. That work is ongoing and often far more complex than how it is presented in viral discussions.
I used to think I might be out of a job because we eradicated human trafficking. I am now thinking I might be out of a job because the very laws that protect children and allow us to go after their captors are being and will be decaying and eroded with this crazy culture that is taking children in the name of liberating them and in fact is enslaving.
In the end, this conversation comes down to how information is used. Public records related to Jeffrey Epstein are available, and they have led to ongoing investigations and legal actions. But interpreting those records requires context, caution, and an understanding of how legal evidence works. Public figures, including Oprah Winfrey, have had their names appear in broader discussions, but no verified findings have linked them to criminal activity in these cases. It is important not to turn association into accusation without proof. As for Sound of Freedom, its journey reflects both audience interest and the complexities of film distribution. Different interpretations exist about why it faced delays, but no confirmed evidence shows a coordinated industry-wide effort to suppress it. The most productive takeaway is this: serious issues like exploitation require serious responses. That means focusing on verified facts, supporting credible organizations, and understanding how real investigations work. Awareness matters, but accuracy matters just as much.